Hello there, and welcome to your Journal Weekly reading for the week of December 3rd, 2018. This week, as always, I'm using the Everyday Witch Tarot cards by Deborah Blake. And of course, including any additional information that comes in from the universe and from our guides, that we have the absolute best understanding on what is to come in the upcoming week. So, happy December! We are in the last month of 2018, if you can believe it. It seems like just yesterday we were talking about all that will unfold in the upcoming year, and here we are already almost at the end. So, obviously this time is a great time to look back on all of the lessons that you've learned, all of the things that happened, all of the amazing growth that you have done, all that you have accomplished, and to just have gratitude for that. We did talk a little bit last week about how in the last 6 weeks of any energy period, whether that's a new year or your birthday, that we have all of the lessons that we learned from that energy cycle kind of condensed into one big karmic ball. And it seems really intense because it's so condensed, and it can obviously trigger a lot of stuff because usually those lessons are really tough ones to learn, hence why we're here to learn them, but also because maybe we didn't get all that we should have from those lessons, or maybe there's some more information there from those lessons or belief systems that you need to take hold and carry with you. Or perhaps it's just one more opportunity for you to learn it so that you don't have to bring it into 2019. So there is a variety of reasons why we learn the way that we do, and why these cycles kind of repeat themselves, and why the karma keeps coming up for us. But it just, all that matters is what it means to you, and get all that you can from it, and take it as an experience. So, excuse me, the energy last week was so interesting. It was so intense. And I know that a lot of people were kind of on edge and feeling a little bit off. That, what I kind of got from it, and it was unfortunate because I realized it right towards the end of the week, because I feel like if I knew this before, then I would have relaxed a little bit. So, but that was part of my lesson too. So what happened last week was whatever your common theme was for 2018, whatever has been this really big pillar in your life, whether it was something you liked or wanted to change or not, this common theme, we'll call it, that has been persistent and would come up every so often, but always would kind of be this underlying foundation for your year. Whatever that was for you, so take a few moments after this to maybe consider what that could have been. Whatever that was for you came up like tenfold last week. So if we had been ignoring it, if we had just been saying, oh, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine, or we had been thinking that we had actually worked through it when really we have not, it came up so loudly that it was like a smack across the face, this lesson. So reflect on your week last week. What came up for you? What was really tough for you? Because that is the huge pillar, that was the huge theme you had for 2018. So you maybe want to go back and reflect on that so that you can take all you need to do it and take the steps that you need to learn from that, so that you don't have to bring that one in with you to 2019. For me, and for many others, it was really intense. So if it wasn't super intense for you, that's great. That means that you have probably learned that lesson very well, but just take some time to reflect on the instances that did happen for you last week, the things that perhaps were old triggers for you, or maybe people that came up for you last week, and really, just take notice and see where there needs to be maybe some some letters written and burned so you can release them, or maybe you need to, work on some self-love and some self-care and all of that kind of stuff. So this was a really great lesson for us. It really sucked, to be honest, for a lot of us, but it's all good, because those are the lessons that are the best, because that means that we learn so much. And then when you finally hit the light bulb moment, it's amazing. So hopefully we can learn that in the next week, or hopefully we learned that last week. If not, that might continue on some level. I'm kind of getting the feeling that it's going to be like a different theme for each week until the end of the week, or end of the year. I'm sorry, my words this morning. So I think every week will have its own little theme for karma. So just of course, reflect on all of that's going on for you throughout the week, if that makes sense. And if it doesn't, I'm happy to explain it to you, because I know it's very weird, but it's very cool too, because the way that things kind of work and manifest is so surprising. And I know about the 6-week cycles, that 6 weeks before New Year, that a lot of stuff happens and compiles, but I didn't really see it to the degree at which I experienced it last week ever. So that was very cool and very interesting. So it's kind of cool when the universe does what it says it's going to do and kind of shows us like, oh, I warned you. But it's also cool because you can also count on those cycles, and you can plan ahead for them. And in your experiences when you're going through something super weird, if you have an understanding on what's actually going on underneath, or what the bigger picture is, then I think it's a lot easier to deal with. So I'm going to stop rambling. I'm going to pull the cards. I'm really hoping that next week is a shift. I'm feeling like it is a little bit, but just in a different way. If you are finding that this time for you is really stressful and really intense, it won't be forever. You will definitely have a new experience going into 2019. We'll have brand new energy, brand new lessons, and all of that, because the numbers change, which influence, we grow through this holiday season, and also the energy changes and all of that. So we will have a different experience in the new year. So just hang in there for the rest of this month if it is really hard and really tough for you, and really hone in on that self-care, because that is abundantly important, and they keep reminding us of that as well. Okay, so for the theme of this week, already looking promising, is the World. And so the World is a great card because the World talks about opportunities. The world is your oyster. And the World is actually full cycle. So we've come through the whole tarot, the whole major arcana. We've come through that hero's journey. And we're now at the end sitting on the beach, throwing up our hat and saying thank you, or congratulations to me, or whatever it is. So throw up your hat and let go of 2018. Let go of those things that are holding you back, and those nasty lessons that are perhaps draining you and they're not good for you, and you need to let them go. And really taking time to understand what those are. The self-reflection thing is so important, and we need to do that way more. Also, having gratitude and giving yourself some credit for all that you have accomplished. The world, as you've traveled the world, you've seen everything, you've learned the lessons, you've been there, you've done that. So congratulate yourself and spend time in that, so that you are able to move forward into this brand new cycle. And this is so beautiful because we are right at the end of the tarot in this story. And so we're able to actually end here, wrap it up in a nice little bow, and kind of float right into this new section in this new journey. So the card is already reflecting that, which is lovely. So we do have the Nine of Swords. So the Nine of Swords is sadness, but it also is hope. So the sun is rising. So if the worst has happened and you're feeling like this poor woman in her room crying, just know that there is hope, and that there is peace, and that there will be a new tomorrow. The sun will rise again. You will feel better once again. This is a very temporary moment in time where you may be feeling less than grand, but that's okay. It's all part of the experience. Human life is up and down, right? And so you have to hit those lows in order to appreciate the good. So take those moments where you're feeling really low and give yourself whatever you need. And that's kind of goes back to this too, right? Like the World. So because you've grown and you've learned that things will get better always. They always do. You've learned this whole new level of experience throughout your many years on this planet, and definitely throughout these last couple years, they've been super intense. So much growth has happened. So you've gained a whole new level of perspective, and that will be shown to you in the beginning of the week if you are feeling this way, because you will look at things differently. You will be able to pull yourself out of it in a different way because you have the knowledge that you have gathered throughout all of your experiences. So, and it's also really important to not get stuck down in the dirt, if that makes sense. So pull yourself up as much as you can. Don't let yourself sink too low, because that's when the ego kind of takes over and likes to stay there and likes to stay in that really gross, nasty, emotional feelings. But when you kind of let yourself sink too deep into them and they become kind of a part of your story, and that's kind of how you identify with the world or with other people, then that's not serving you at all. That's just keeping you there. So that's also important to remember, which is something that you've probably come to realize through your travels in the world. Okay, so we have the Three of Wands. And so the Three of Wands is a lovely card that tells us that what we are dreaming for, what we're striving for, is just beyond the horizon. So just keep going. This is a lovely card. So it pairs very nicely with what we talked about for the beginning of the week. The beginning of the week is kind of this sad, kind of cleansing time. You know, having a good cry is a really good way to clear things out. So maybe that's all that it is for you to get to this point, and know that you just need to keep on going and keep on fighting so that you can reach whatever it is that you are trying to, wherever it is that you're trying to get to. Whenever you're in self-doubt or you're stuck in this space, bring yourself back to the things that you're good at. So having faith that you know that you are able to accomplish whatever you need to. It's hard to get back to that space when you're in this kind of negative mindset. So if you can find things that you know that you're super good at, like emptying the dishwasher or cleaning a pot, just really simple things, or doing a really good job vacuuming. And like, if you can, honestly, this sounds so ridiculous, but it's so true. Like, go back to the basics. Like, I can pour this glass of water so well because as long as you pay attention, you can't really mess it up. Like, sometimes you spill the water, but whatever, you filled up the glass, so you've accomplished what you've come to accomplish. So when you're really feeling like down in the depths, take yourself back to the basics and give yourself that confidence back by consciously, doing chores, or if you're really good at a certain sport or something like that, put yourself in those situations that you know that you are successful, and that success kind of builds that momentum, and it feeds in other areas of your life. So it's hard to kind of trick yourself into thinking that you're successful and you're whatever you want is just around the corner when you are feeling so down in the dumps. So just, you have to act upon it. And that's that physical movement piece that gets you up and gets you moving. And that will help to regain that confidence a little bit more. And so that you can actually enjoy this energy in the middle of the week that's saying, just keep on going. It's coming for you. Or the thing that you want is coming to you. So just keep on doing what you're doing. Okay, and the Hierophant on the weekend. So this is a card about teaching and meditation. So is there a gift that you have that you should be teaching to others? Perhaps there is a teacher in your life that will enter into your life on the weekend, or you will see your teacher on the weekend. But what they're kind of saying about this one this week is that it's so important for us to find our teachers in all areas of our lives, and all those people that we can look up to, even if it's not an official teacher. Maybe it's a friend that just is living in a certain way that you wish to live in, or whatever. But to find those people that you can look up to and sometimes model their behavior if they're doing something that you really want to be doing. But it's also about finding that person who is somewhat of a master of life, and not that their life is perfect, but that they're able to overcome whatever is in their path with grace. So keep your eyes open, and keep your arms open to receiving those teachers, but also don't be afraid to be that teacher for others. You have accomplished many great things on this planet, and the things that you have learned to overcome and learn to deal with, and Even if you have friends that love to stay here, but you have the tools to get out of that space, really lend that helping hand and give that to them. For those of you who are growing a business or would like to attract, more of those clients, this is a really great week to do that. So really sit in that success in the middle of the week, and then don't be afraid to teach during the weekend. Also, this is about the answers being on the inside. So as much as we do need those teachers, the teachers kind of show us how we find the answers out. They don't always feed us the answers, right? And so it's also about going within the self and actually doing that work and being your own teacher as well. And having the faith and the confidence that you know the answers and that the answers are within you and you don't have to go out far to get them. I have to say, though, there is this really strong underlying feeling of self-doubt, even throughout this week. And this could manifest for you differently because it could be something else that you perhaps struggle with a little bit more than this. But for me, the way that they're kind of bringing it to me is this feeling of kind of self-doubt. So even when somebody's telling you, giving you a compliment about the work that you do, or giving you the feedback that what you're doing, you're on the right track, it might be hard for you to actually take that in as your own ability. It might be hard for you to accept that. So try as hard as you can to let that go, whatever that inner self-talk, inner dialogue is for you that's keeping you in this cycle in 2018. Really take a moment to question that. And even if you can't do it in every single moment, taking some time afterwards and to reflect on the words that were exchanged and the way that you felt about it, or the things that happened where you were like, well, that was a fluke, that's not really success, or whatever it is that perhaps is happening that is triggering that self-doubt for you. Really take time to look into that, because you don't want to bring that into 2019. Should be a good week, though. We have the opportunity to really grow, and just know this time might be a little bit more intense than what we want right before the holiday season, but that it's going to be so worth it, and that we're just going to gracefully glide right into 2019 and right into this new cycle of energy and right into the new you. So I love you so much. Thank you so much for being here. If you would like to, I'm having another live tarot card reading on Facebook. So I hope that you will join me there. You can join us and get your questions answered via the tarot. So if you're interested in that, I will put all of that information below. Thank you so much for being here. I so do appreciate it. Please come on by katiehunt.ca to subscribe so that you don't miss any sort of special offers or any special insights that I only share in email. So please come on by and subscribe if you have not already, and follow me on Facebook and Instagram on thejourneytospirit@gmail.com. Thank you so much for being here. I'm sending you so much love. Have a fantastic week ahead.